If you're looking to level up your family's Christmas stockings, you are in the right place. So this is a smocked Christmas stocking. It has lining on the inside, and in my stitch along, I'm going to show how to do it without these seams showing on the inside. So those will be all hidden. And I'm going to, in this video, walk through the stages of the project, how much time you can expect to spend on each part, but this is not a full tutorial, although it will serve as enough of a tutorial for advanced sewers. So, there's 3 stages to making the smock stocking. First, you've got to prepare your fabric. So, looking at this fabric, I have these points marked on it. The first thing I did was to iron the fabric, then cut it to the size that I wanted. I applied some fray check on the edge because this is satin. It will fray like crazy and we don't want to be dealing with that. And you'll notice that I have the selvage still on here, and that's because I'm making a big panel that I'm then going to be cutting my stocking out of. So I don't really need to worry about what's on the edge. The important thing with the prep step is using a template of some kind. Now these 2 patterns don't match, but a template of some kind so you can find your points on your fabric, mark how they're connected, and that is something that I do have available inside of the stitch along in both digital and physical forms. And although I will say, if you're watching this video after November 2023, I am not certain that there will still be physical templates, so check in the description to see if those are still available. This is kind of a limited run pre-order situation. And then for getting the actual texture onto the fabric, we're sewing these connected points together. So we're tying on to the first point, then picking up a few threads at each of the remaining 2 points, and then pulling them all in and tying off at the end. Then I can just continue through, run a thread to the next one, so I'm not cutting and tying knots all the time. I'm just going to the next one, tie off at that point, and then pick up the next 2 points. So tie them together. This is a similarly relaxing process to filling in the background on a cross stitch pattern. So once you have your texture for the full panel, that's when you start layering on your back layer, which is flat, same color as the front, and then 2 lining layers. And that's how we're going to get the seam to be hidden, by having both of those lining layers on top. And then when we sew around and flip it inside out, then the seams are in between the lining and the smocked panel, which I have tested and works amazingly well. And once that is done, then we will be sewing on the cuff. So we need to set up the hanger, and then the cuff will be sewn on from the inside, and you can see I'm using a straight stitch. This is just going all the way around. You pin these guys in place, and then you sew. Got to make sure that your hanger is on the right side, but other than that, this is very straightforward. And with this size of stocking, I've never had an issue with getting that cuff to go on, even though it is like a circle that you're running through the sewing machine, like so. And so those 3 stages, preparing the fabric, doing the smocking, and then assembling the stocking, are each pretty straightforward, especially if you have a physical template for this smocking pattern. So I invite you to join me. And well, for one, I'm using smocking patterns that are not found in traditional sources. These are things that I developed myself in connections from origami tessellations. And so I have a variety of smocking patterns over on gatheringfolds.com. And for full video tutorials of how to make the stocking itself, you can head to training.gatheringfolds.com/stocking for the videos with the stitch along. So happy folding, happy stitching, everybody, and I'll see you for your next project.